So, are you ready from
Yeah, there's a number of things that Danny didn't like, and we're going to get through them all one by one.
Yeah. So I've wrote this down.
Okay.
Okay. So, are you ready to hear a really hot take?
I'm ready to hear a hot take.
Wanda was made way too sympathetic and should have been killed.
Jesus. Okay. Should have been killed might be a bit strong.
No, should have been killed.
Oh, okay.
Should have been just Vision should have punched her through the head. She should be
Okay.
gone. So
I think I disagree with death as a result of a crime pretty much always. But yes, she did do horrific things. And at the end, they're just sort of like, oh, Wanda, you sausage, that's all right, don't you worry.
yeah.
That does frustrate me, yeah.
See, when I say death, I mean in the context of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like when they just kill Ultron or something like that. Like, because Wanda has done things in this show that rival Avengers Big Bad, you know?
That's true, yeah.
So just for context, so Wanda is incredibly distraught about Vision's death and is still grieving intensely, and she doesn't. Does she steal the body? I can't remember.
I don't think she does. No.
No, but she eventually goes to this place called Westview, and essentially creates this spell called a hex, that Darcy sort of coins, and mentally enslaves the entire town, thousands and thousands of people, mentally enslaved, and are all part of her big fantasy to reanimate her dead husband or boyfriend or whatever you want to call it. At first, it was an accident, so that's fine. But
as she started to realise,
by the 70s, she was completely aware about what she was doing, and she continued to maintain the facade. So that's probably that's up there with some of the worst sort of Marvel villains in existence. And by the end of the story, because she somehow didn't know that they were being mentally tortured, that somehow excuses what she did. Mentally enslaving anyone or any number of people is if it's an accident, fair enough, but see if you realise that you're doing it and make a consistent effort to continue.
Yeah.
Then that's just it's unforgivable.
It's morally
in my
reprehensible.
eyes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I completely see where you're coming from. Yeah. It
So,
yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with she should be put to death because I don't really like that for anything. But I do understand that. Yeah, she should have had an actual punishment at the very least, to put her in the raft or whatever.
I think she's a monster, honestly. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I completely
absolutely
understand and agree.
I absolutely hate Wanda now. I think she's a horrible character that was let off the hook way too easily.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if we get some kind of... I mean, we won't because it's Marvel, but I'll be interested to see if we get some kind of, not a learning experience, but if we see Wanda trying to make up for it. Yep. If she's, sort of, I don't know, doing some kind of volunteering or just trying to help people in some way.
Yep.
I'd like to see that. I don't know if we'll get it, but I would like to see it.
Are you ready for another hot take?
Yeah, go on then.
They tried to make the sword director way more villainous than he actually was.
Yeah, I didn't get that really. Because because he was arrested at the end. But what did they really arrest him for?
Yeah, so he tried to shoot the kids, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're going in to stop a huge supervillain from enslaving a town and she creates children to fight you, you're not the one that's morally wrong for continuing what you were trying to do, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, yeah.
She essentially recruits child soldiers to fight the military because she wants to maintain the fantasy that she's created.
So those children, so Tommy and Billy, were they children that were already in the town, or did she just create them?
No, she created them.
Okay, yeah, because the only argument I would have with what you said is there's an argument that it's like a new form of life. like in an
Yeah.
episode of Star Trek or something. You can
Oh
see.
no, they're alive. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
say
So having a guy just walk in and straight up shoot him in the head, that might be a step too far. But I can understand wanting to shoot Wanda, or even Vision, who is, I don't know. I kind of get it, but
Yeah, but
enslaving children is not great.
no, I mean, and like, they play it as like some sort of fucking Incredibles bullshit, where they're like, Wanda's like, kids handle the military while mummy's comes right back. Like, what the actual fuck?
That's a good point, because when you consider that, essentially, if she was Tony Stark, they'd be two little robot boys that were like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good point. I want to put my children in harm's way so that I can defeat the military. Yeah, that's a really good point. Plus, I suppose the other things, like, we don't really get to see a face of a soldier, which is something that always bugs me in a lot of things. But
yeah,
the majority of the sword goons are just that. They're just like guys. They don't have faces, even though they do have faces, of course. Take off the helmet and the mask and stuff, and underneath there's a guy, and he goes home to his family. Do you know what I mean? It's gross to think of. Yeah, she's telling children that she's made to murder people.
yep.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Like, Vision's like, oh yeah, we haven't really prepared you for this, and Wanda's like, but you were born for it. What? They were born for combat because you knew that people would be upset about you enslaving an entire town. Like, Jesus Christ, it's just the only two people that see Wanda for what she is are portrayed as like villains. Agatha sees it, the sword director sees it, and everyone else is just just treated like as if they're fucking idiots and just have no issues with it. Monica Rambeau's like, no, she's misunderstood. No, it's fine. They'll never know what they sacrifice.
Yeah,
they'll
the
never
point
know
at
what
which
you
she
sacrifice
became-
for them. What?
Yeah, the point at which she became a villain was the point at which she decided to deliberately continue enslaving people, essentially. Because when it's an accident, and then you discover and you go, oh my god, I didn't mean to do that, sort of thing, it's sort of excusable, and it's sort of... It's what Monica says, of like, after the snap, when my mum... I woke up and my mum was dead. If I had your powers, I would try to bring her back. That's an understandable thing to say, but if the bringing your mother back... And who I would like to quickly add, wouldn't really be your mother. It would be something that looked like and spoke like your mother, but it would not be your mother.
Yeah.
If bringing that construct to life required mentally enslaving a town full of people, including children...
Yep.
I think after a while you'd see the balance there. Yeah, Wanda is extremely morally corrupt.
Yep, absolutely. And it's like portrayed as like, oh, how dare the townspeople sort of look at her as if it's like, oh, they'll never know what you sacrifice for them. What? Who fucking wrote this absolute shite? I was so angry watching this show, because it seems to me that Disney is on this path of like making like sort of specifically female characters do really fucked up shit and portray it as like something that's meant to be like celebrated. You've got Cruella coming out. Well, it's out now, which is about a woman who wants to skin dogs to make a fucking coat, and that's portrayed as like, I am woman, hear me roar and stuff like that. It's like, is that what feminism is to these people? Is that what it's about? No. Should it not be about actually decent, morally upstanding women showing everyone else how to behave, rather than she's sad, so she enslaved an entire town and created child soldiers to fight the military? It's like, it really gets in my gears. It really grinds them, honestly. It really pisses me off.
I do understand what you're talking about. Yeah, it's fucked. It's yeah. I know what you mean. It is fucked. I've got nothing more to add. I don't know why I'm just stalling. Have you got any other hot takes?
I think so. So at the end of the show, Wanda just comes across as like Thanos after he's snapped half the universe. You know, she's sitting on her porch,
drinking tea, and
I finally rest. Watch the sunset on a grateful universe. Like, what? Like, it's so weird. And in the back, obviously, I think what they're gonna do, which gives me a little bit of hope, is that they're probably going to set her up to be like a villain.
Yes,
or
I think that'll be the case. Yeah,
at least have a dark sort of streak. But you know, if the show was at least like morally consistent in any sort of way, all the sword people would have contained Wanda and imprisoned her for her actions. Maybe not like killed her, but like even if she like, see, even if it was an accident, she should still be like just contained because of the level of power that she has. Like, she's essentially a human nuke at this point that's incredibly mentally unstable, that needs like therapy or something like that, that needs to be like, helped.
I'm not sure if I quite agree with on the basis that she could do something horrific. We should just presume she will.
No,
I'm
but
not
she
sure
did.
if I quite agree. No, I know, but the point I'm making is like I don't like the idea of imprisoning someone on the off chance that they'll deliberately cruelly do something. Even if I know that she did cruelly do it, but in the idea of, oh, she accidentally did this thing and now she's apologizing, wants to make reparations, surely it's better to allow her to this theoretical alternate timeline version of Wanda. Surely it's better to allow this other version of Wanda to do the good deeds that she wants to do, rather than to just say, no, you, in theory, you have the power of a nuclear bomb. We need to contain you.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's more of a difficult one because, you know, if you can't go about accidentally enslaving thousands of people.
No, you can't.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
at the very least, she needs therapy and Professor X to come in and be like, let's control your power. Boop, 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 boop. And then he looks inside her head or whatever. That's what she needs at the very least.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. You can't just let her walk off. You can't just be like, "Oh, well, you said sorry, so go and get yourself a slice of pizza. That's fine. It's all right. Don't worry."
I have no idea why, like, as she was walking away, she just wasn't like sniped. Like, I mean, like, oh my god. Maybe I'm coming across as a bit harsh here, but she is like an actual fucking menace. You know, like, just an actual villain at this point. Like, I know they tried to make it ambiguous, and it's like, oh, I lost my family. A family, by the way, that she fucking created.
Yeah.
And it's like, they'll never know what you sacrifice. She didn't sacrifice anything. She put them in that position, and then created a family, and then just gave it up. You know, it's like
saying, such and such business lost a certain amount of money because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah,
no, they lost a theoretical amount of money. And that does sound quite cruel, but you know what I mean?
It's the equivalent of like kidnapping people, putting them in a basement, and then the kidnapper gets some sort of Stockholm Syndrome family out of it, and then when they're eventually let go, the police officers are just like, they'll never know what you gave up for them. Like, what? That's essentially just what it is. It's so weird, and it's just so strange. Just the fact that they're portraying it as just something that's like, yeah, but we'll see what happens next time. It's like, why wasn't... I just find it really weird. I just don't know why that happened, you know? Like, she mentally tortured these people for months and just is completely off the hook like that and gets to just live in Sokovia or wherever she is, you know? It's just really strange to me. But see if they were going to do that, they set up this really interesting moral dilemma, right? Where, like, people had to decide what was going to happen, and then they just introduced Agatha as like the big villain the whole time to try and take the responsibility off Wanda and just have a big Marvel cape fight at the end.
One thing that did get me was it was Agatha all along. Well, what was, though? Because it's still sort of Wanda doing the horrible things. Yes, Agatha, she killed a dog and sort of was sowing seeds of chaos, but that wasn't... She also was just kind of fucking about for the entire time. Like, she didn't, aside from the dog, which was a fake dog, actually, now I come to think of it, she didn't really do anything, did she? She just... I mean, maybe it was a real dog, I suppose. I suppose somebody in the town could have had a dog. But do you see my point?
Yeah.
It's Agatha. What was Agatha all along? I don't get it.
No, I mean, she reanimated Quicksilver, to sort of try and manipulate her a bit more, I guess.
Well, sort of. She got a guy and said, "Pretend to be Pietro, please," and he went, "All right." Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, I suppose. But it's like, I don't.
Which is a tragedy, because I loved Catherine Hahn's performance, and I would love to see Agatha Harkness in something else.
Yeah.
In Multiverse of Madness, in some kind of future Scarlet Witch property. I would absolutely love to see her come back, because I love the character, and I love how she was played, I love the performance, I love the aesthetic, I just thought it was all really brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that she essentially did nothing worth anything. Do you know what I mean? She just kind of was there.
We'll probably end up seeing her again at some point, which is good because I really liked her in this. So they've retconned Vision. He'll be back now that they did that weird
he will.
Doctor Who mind transfer shit. So that's no consequences there.
I know.
Basically, any fucker can just come back.
Yeah, and the other weird thing about that's what I was going to say about Vision is how is he affecting these things? Because his powers are fly around, shoot stuff with your head laser, and
disappear.
Yeah, what's the word? Change your molecular density or whatever.
Yeah.
So how is he affecting, like, the computer that he affects, and then the guy in the office whose name I have completely fucking forgotten, Norm, and everybody? How is he actually affecting their brains? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And look, why? Like, Vision was the one to sort of hold Wanda in her room for accidentally sort of destroying a tower block, and yet this Vision, who has shown that he definitely has the sort of same sort of head as Vision, doesn't just disable Wanda. Just shoot a laser at her and just try and...
I might be misremembering this, so please do tell me if I am, but wasn't it in Age of Ultron, when he was sort of confining her to the compound, wasn't it that it was a PR thing? So he was like, no, I think you should be able to go to the shop if you want, but it's a PR thing. Tony Stark is saying, like, she killed all these people in Lagos. I've never quite been sure how to pronounce that. Lagos.
Is it not in Civil War?
Oh, it might be. I'm not entirely sure. But my point I'm making is, wasn't it a PR stunt thing rather than Vision making any kind of moral judgment over her?
Yeah, well, it was. I think it was for other people's safety as well as just a PR thing.
I might be misremembering, but I don't think it was.
Well, he made.
Hard to say. We are both just trying to remember a film that I don't think either of us have seen since 2014 or whenever it came out.
Maybe Darius will remember.
Maybe,
but maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. It really pissed me off.
No, I know what you mean.
I was watching it, I was just like, how can it be that the two worst people in the show are the only ones that can see this monster for what she is? It's like, it's so objectively wrong what she did, and I don't know. I just think it's really weird.
No, I completely know what you mean. The only thing, there's one good thing I would say about it is, like, if they do decide to turn Wanda into a villain, which I really hope they do, because if they don't, then it's essentially you're losing respect for human life in this world, which is the entire thing that had the Civil War film about. That was essentially what that entire movie was about. But yeah, if they do turn her into a villain, then I suppose it is, in a way, it's quite comics faithful, and that gives us some quite interesting things. What with how mutants can be introduced into the world now. Are you familiar with the House of M comics?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah, No More Mutants is like, Wanda says, no more mutants, and then they just all go. They either just lose their powers, vanish, whatever it might be, and so from then on, Wanda is considered a dangerous lunatic. And so in the comics, she's always quite morally grey and an interesting character, because you don't know what she's going to do, and that makes her interesting to sort of read about, to write about, I presume, as well. So yeah, good, maybe. I would like to see interesting things happening, which is good. But are we going to get them? There's like a 50-50. I really don't know.
No, true. I mean, see if they made it an accident, right? And then after an episode, she realised and stopped, and then the sword director was trying to kill her, and the rest of the show was a bit like her trying to escape, and Monica Rambeau helping her. Then that's fine. That's more she's morally sort of grey, but she's still a hero in that respect because she didn't realise what she was doing. But it's just the fact that she just consciously did it. And people have said, well, she didn't know that she was mentally torturing them. It's like, it doesn't matter. She enslaved an entire town of people.
Yeah, no, it's similar to the Killmonger thing, of when
At least his motivation was justified though.
What was it? Didn't he want to get Jessica Jones to sleep with him? What? what was Killmonger's motivation? No, not Killmonger.
You're
name?
thinking
Kilgrave.
Kilgrave.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
no,
I was very
no.
confused.
I was like, what?
Sorry, yeah.
Kilgrave.
Yeah,
No,
Kilgrave.
he was a psychopath. He was a psychopath. You know.
Yeah, that's he knew he was causing people sadness and harm and stuff, and he kept doing it anyway. That's kind of what Wanda was doing, maybe.
Yeah.
Because
when you said Killmonger, I was like, wait, what? But yeah, I don't know. I think that because when we leave her, she's got that book, and I looked up.
Home,
the fucking MacGuffin. I looked it up, and it's basically like this evil book that a dark sort of god transferred his essence into. So it's essentially like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings, right? And apparently it's like, if you're reading that, then it's really, really bad. So I'm guessing that they're going to be doing something with that, I hope. But who knows?
Who knows?
I'm sure she'll destroy an orphanage or something like that because she was sad and everyone's like, oh, it's okay. It's all right.
She was grieving. Don't worry, everybody.
She was sad. She was sad, folks.
The costumes in this were really good, weren't they? I know this is
really good.
It's a bit. I'm just trying to find things now, but I really liked the Scarlet Witch costume.
Yep. I liked Agatha's.
I loved Agatha's. Yeah, it was really good. It felt very Salem Witch Trials in a funny way, didn't it?
Definitely.
And it was all stunning. It was all really pretty. All the house, how the house changed with every single iteration of like an updated sitcom look.
Yep.
It was just really pretty. I really liked it.
Do you know about the Mephisto thing?
I know that at the time the show was airing, there was a lot of people like, oh yeah, it's Mephisto. He's behind it all. And he's kind of Satan in the Marvel universe, if I'm remembering right. Lord of Flies or something. Yeah,
something like that. But it wasn't Mephisto, as everyone was really disappointed with that. But that's Marvel fans for you, you know. They're full of hope. You know. I've Mephisto's an Infinity Gauntlet, which is a good graphic novel if you like the Infinity Stones and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that could be interesting. You know, that could tie into the. But no, it wasn't. It was just it was a villain origin story. You know.